Now you may have noticed I got a pot with me today and not a kettle, and there's a reason for that. I'm going to do a bit of baking. I haven't done any baking for a while, so I thought something different for me to do. Now what I'm going to do, I haven't done for a while, and the last time I did it, it didn't work. But I think it's going to work today. I hope it's going to work today. And that is a cake in a cup. Basically, put a little bit of water in the bottom of the pot, boiling water. Take a smaller pot. This is an old enamel mug, which I've cut the handle off. You make a relatively wet mix, and in this bag I've got a mix. I'm going to mix that up in my drinking cup. I've had my cup of tea. And then I'm going to pour it in here. Now ideally, I put some butter in there so it didn't stick, but I forgot. Typical, there we are, these things happen. In my mix, it's a cake mix. I've got flour, baking powder, egg powder, milk powder and sultanas. Well, I'm going to mix that up first. Well, that's mixed, and that's about the right consistency.
Looking back now, I should have probably put the mix in a bigger bag and mixed it in the bag, save dirty in the cup.
There's about a ½ inch of water now in the pot, and I'm going to boil that up. What I got to do now is cut 3 little discs of wood to put in the pot to rest the other pot on top of it. A bit too much in it. Right, so I'm going to build that fire up now and create a lot of heat in that pot. Well, there was a bit too much heat in that pot because it was boiling over with only a little bit of water in there. So I've raised it up a bit now. While that's baking in there now, well, hopefully baking in there, I'm going off to find something to carve. And I'm not going down the swamp like last week, because I don't particularly want to get soaking and absolutely filthy. I'm going to look a bit more local. It's been on about 15 minutes, so let's have a look, see if it's risen. Yep, it's risen. All the water's gone though. Well, it rose pretty well, it just needs to brown now. Well, it ain't going to brown with a lot of water in there, so I'm glad it's burnt dry. Off the heat, so it's just got a bit of heat ticking over. Hopefully it'll brown. Got a piece of green sycamore. It's not as big as I would have liked, but trying to responsibly source things, and the tree was basically, well, somebody had hacked at the bottom of it, so it was half alive, half dead. but I managed to get a tidy little piece out of it. So I'm going to carve a little spoon. I'm using my wildlife hatchet. I do have a carving axe, but it's absolutely crap for splitting wood, so I brought this instead. Not browned as much as I'd have liked, but it's definitely doubled in size. I shall leave it cool. Well, the wind has picked up. I've got so far with the axe, and I'm going to switch now to my bushcraft knife, get a bit more meat off, and then I've got a new carving knife which I'm going to use to do the finer cuts on it. First things first, I've just made a cup of tea. I'm going to test this cake out. Feels quite heavy. I don't think it's cooked all the way through, but let's see. I was hoping to use my spoon to eat this, but I don't have the time because I'm feeling quite hungry. So my teaspoon's pressed into action. Ooh, it's a bit stodgy. What I don't think I put enough baking powder in. Because it has cooked, it just hasn't risen as well as it should have. It gets better. I'm going to drink my tea now, need some more of this. I'll get back to you with some carving action. I've moved seats. Smoke from the fire was getting straight in my face. I ate most of the cake, and it dawned on me. When I was a kid, I used to have steamed pudding, usually with custard, and that's exactly how it tasted, and the consistency. So whether steaming it, that's how it's going to turn out. Could very well be. Perhaps there was a little bit too much water in there, but I ate most of it. I left a bit for the birds, but it turned out quite nice, and it would have probably been nicer with some custard on top of it. Try it out, see what you think. Get back to some carving. If you want to watch somebody who's very good carving spoons, I suggest you watch my pal Scott, Welsh Woodsman Outdoors. Check his channel out. There's a lot on spoon carving and he's exceptionally good at it. Damn sight better than I am. Look at the state of my pot. Back in my regular seat. I've left the fire burn out because it's really windy up here and it's pretty dry, so I don't want any coals flying off and starting any fires, so it's burnt out. But I'm going to use my spoon knife now, or crooked knife, whatever you want to call it, and gouge out the bowl. Shouldn't say gouge out, carve out. Well, the bowl's carved out, still a bit on the rough side, mine. But what I like about a shallow knife is you can't take it too deep. When you think about your eating spoon at home, it's not like that, is it? You can't get it in your mouth. With a shallower spoon gouge, you get a shallower bowl. And you can only go so far. So I've gone as far as I can with this now, and I'll take my carving knife, I'll take the edges off. It's not finished though, it needs to dry. I'm starting doing a few little cuts and I'm seeing that the grain sort of fluffing up a bit, but when it's dry I can do the finishing cuts. But that's more than usable. I'm getting my big fat gob, but it does need a little bit more work. I'll do that next week. Well, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video today. Done quite a bit today. Lit the fire with the stupid gizmo. Made my little steamed cake, which turned out more like a pudding. And almost finished carving a spoon. So I'm happy with what happened today, and I hope you'll enjoy this video. A thumbs up is always greatly appreciated, and if you can share so I can grow the channel, that would be smashing. Till the next time, goodbye. put that fire out.